Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Damon folded Talia's newly purchased clothes and arranged them in the drawer before turning to his right. He blinked a few times at the sight of Talia. She looked like a scared kitten after a bath, bundled in her white fluffy towel with yellow designs. Talia's face exploded in a blush, and Damon's sly smile widened when he saw that even her ears had turned red. "Clothes? I forgot. I need clothes," she stammered, struggling to speak coherently. Alpha Damon was too much. Damon wanted to tease her a bit more, but seeing that she was nearly hyperventilating, he decided to stop. "Do you know what you want to wear?" he asked. Talia shook her head. She hadn't even thought about it. In fact, aside from taking a quick glance at the shopping bags and boxes, she hadn't checked their contents at all. Damon reached into the drawer and pulled out a pair of light blue jeans and a white top. "Here, try these," he suggested. Without looking, Talia grabbed the clothes, mumbled a quick "thank you," and swiftly disappeared into the bathroom. Damon shook his head helplessly and let out a long breath. He had brought Talia here, hoping the crazed craving for her sweet, citrusy freesia scent would subside, or that he'd at least get used to his madness brought on by the addictive sparks between them. But so far, it was only getting worse. At this rate, he was certain Talia would be the end of him.
Talia dressed up in the bathroom, fixed her hair, and finished breakfast in record time, grateful that Alpha Damon didn't come out of the closet. When she was ready, Talia peeked into the closet as Damon finished sorting the last few pieces of clothing. His back was facing her. Talia silently acknowledged that Damon's physique is impressive. Damon is not too muscular like some warriors she saw in the Red Moon Pack. Damon's body is well proportioned with just the right amount of muscles. The image of the black wolf from her dream popped into her mind. He had black fur that was very soft, and his eyes were icy blue, just like Damon's. That was a very vivid dream, and Talia remembered it clearly. Even the scent of the forest and dark chocolate, almost like it was not a dream. "I bought you these clothes," Damon said without turning to look at her, and Talia hoped that he didn't notice her gawking at him. "Okay," she responded sheepishly. "You said that we are in a hurry, and I'm ready, so—" Her voice trailed. Damon turned to face Talia and cocked his eyebrow in approval. "Turn around. Let me see you, please." It was more of a plea than an order. Talia turned slowly, and when she completed the rotation, Talia gasped when she realized that Damon crossed the distance between them. He was only half a step away from her, and his scent made her dizzy. Too close. "It suits you well," Damon replied in a low voice and reached for the bottom hem of her shirt, feeling the silky fabric. Talia was visibly flustered. She was not used to people being that close or complimenting her, and Alpha Damon made her nervous. "Thank you," she spoke in a shaky voice and inched away from him. "Are we going now, or—" Damon hummed ambiguously before confirming, "It's time." Talia turned on her heel and headed for the door. "Talia!" She froze when Damon called her name. "Yes?" Talia asked while turning toward him in slow motion, and she was confused to see him smirking at her. "Don't you need shoes?" Talia wanted to disappear. She was in such a hurry to leave that she forgot she was barefoot. And where would she leave? Alpha Damon already said that he will take her for an appointment, so it's not like she can escape from him. Damon watched Talia as she was looking at which shoes to wear, and he contacted Maya and Caden through the mind link. "Where is Casey?" "In the garden," Maya responded. "Okay, I'm coming down with Talia in a minute." "Do you want me to distract Casey?" Maya asked. Damon thought for a moment. He didn't want Casey to be aware of Talia's presence, but Casey already saw Talia, and the more he hides Talia, the more suspicious it will be. If Casey thinks of Talia as any other she-wolf, she will not make a fuss. No need. As long as Casey doesn't know that Talia is staying on my floor, it's fine. And even if she finds out, Damon would come up with some explanation. Damon and Talia exited the main door when Casey's voice reached them.
Alpha Damon! Alpha Damon! Are you going somewhere?
Casey asked. Human town, Damon responded. Casey was irked to see a girl sitting in the front passenger seat of Damon's car. With Talia's bruises fading and good clothes, Casey didn't recognize Talia as the woman from the kitchen that Casey accused of stealing food.
Can I join you?
Damon turned to face Casey. I'm taking her for an appointment. Casey's eyes darted from Talia to Damon.
Personally? Can't you get someone else to take her?
I also have some business in the human town, so it's on the way. Is there anything else I need to report to you, Miss Casey, or am I allowed to leave? Damon asked sarcastically, and his face darkened in a second. What gives you the right to question me? Casey shrunk.
I was only curious. I apologize, Alpha Damon.
Curiosity killed the cat, Miss Casey. Damon said grimly. It's your luck that you are not a feline. Be careful, Miss Casey. There is a limit to my patience, just how there is a limit of how much your father's identity can protect you. Casey jolted when Damon closed the door on the passenger side, and she watched him as he went to the driver's side of the car. She couldn't believe this. He just left with some no-name girl. Casey stomped back into the mansion and she found Maya. Who is that girl?
What girl?
The one that Alpha Damon took to Humantown.
Why are you asking me? Was I outside? How am I supposed to know which girl went with him? If you didn't realize, I am a busy beta, and I don't have time to waste on idle gossip,
Maya said with a smirk and sashayed away from Casey. Casey felt rage bubbling inside her, but there was nothing she could do. Besides, if Damon didn't introduce the girl, she was not important. Casey knows everyone who is important in the Dark Howlers pack, and that girl can't be more than an Omega. But would an Omega have such good clothes? Is that girl the reason why Alpha Damon is always busy? But who is that girl? Casey was quite confident that she never saw Talia. As a fashionista, Casey noticed that Talia wore jeans and a silky white short-sleeved shirt, and just by one glance, Casey could estimate that those are not cheap clothes. She even spotted fine lacy details at the edge of the... Casey's eyes widened when she remembered that this was not the first time she saw such white fabric with lacy details. Is it possible that Damon's shopping for clothes from yesterday was for that girl? And Maya and Stephanie took it to the third floor.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Talia observed the scene between Damon and Casey, and she felt unsure what to think. Why did Alpha Damon treat Casey coldly? Did they have an argument? Or maybe Casey offended him somehow? Just based on the last minute, if Talia hadn't witnessed the scene in the kitchen of Casey clinging to Damon's arm, Talia would think that Damon didn't like Casey. But if he didn't like her, why would he allow her to stay in the pack house and call herself his Luna? And the way Casey looked at Damon definitely insinuated intimacy that went beyond holding his hand. It didn't make sense. This solidified Talia's opinion that Alpha Damon seemed extremely unstable. In a way, it made Talia feel better because now Talia knew that she didn't represent the only one to receive inconsistent treatment by Alpha Damon. If Talia didn't feel so terrified of him, she would recommend him to see a psychiatrist because his behavior couldn't seem normal. Everyone around Alpha Damon stayed on pins and needles while guessing what his mood would be. That didn't seem healthy. The moment the car started moving and pop music from the radio filled the space, Talia forgot about Casey and all the drama from the pack house.
She even forgot that she sat in the car next to a scary alpha. Talia sank in her seat and observed the changing scenery outside. She always loved the outdoors. Since she mostly stayed stuck in the attic, being outside came with a sense of freedom. Just like Talia, Damon also forgot about Casey the moment he started the car. The only thing that could make it better would involve him and Talia holding hands, or if she leaned on him. But he didn't have a good excuse for that to happen, so he gripped the steering wheel tightly. Damon stole glances at Talia, and he felt happy to see that she was relaxed. He did a double take at the small smile that appeared at the corner of her lips. Damon noticed that Talia straightened up to see better what happened there. "They are preparing for the fair," Damon spoke, and Talia nodded without looking at him. She remembered that Maya told her how a fair would happen soon. "What kind of a fair?" Talia asked. "It represents a celebration. But Maya mostly shows interest in the fair part, which happens on this square, and that's why she described it as such," Damon responded before giving a lengthy explanation. "Summer solstice represents the day when we celebrate life and new beginnings. It starts in the morning. The whole town participates, and only a handful of stores open in the morning, while all close in the afternoon. In the afternoon, vendors open their stalls with games and food in the town square. In the evening, there will be music and dancing around the bonfire, and it all ends with fireworks." Damon talked about normal things, but his deep magnetic voice turned it into the most fascinating story ever. And Talia hoped that he would continue talking. Damon saw that Talia listened intently, so he added a few more details. "Women also make garlands of flowers and give them to their loved ones with the hope that their affection will be returned." He really didn't know much more because as a kid, he would usually disappear and do some mischief. And since he became the alpha, Damon's attendance consisted of watching competitions, giving away prizes, and that represented it for him. But there existed no way he would say that to Talia. For Talia, Damon's story about the celebration sounded fantastic, and she felt confident that Damon got the most garlands every year. Damon saw the excitement in her expression. "It represents a fun day. You will see." Talia understood that his explanation ended. She returned her gaze to the window on her side in time to see the last few houses of Darkbourne before the road took them through the forest again. She wondered what kind of performances would get included. Would there appear a circus? Olivia told her that in the circus, people do all kinds of moves, and they walk on a rope that seemed super high. And there appeared animals and magic and clowns. She really wanted to see that. As for the stalls, Talia felt excited, but she felt sure that playing games and eating food would cost money, and she seemed broke, so her mood dropped a bit. She decided to talk to Damon about getting a job, or maybe she should ask him to see the doctor, and then Travis could convince Alpha Damon to allow Talia to work. Damon spoke that she could work as soon as Travis said that it seemed okay, and convincing the good doctor to give her a pass sounded much easier than negotiating with an unstable alpha. After an unknown measure of time, they emerged from the forest and took the 3-lane wide highway. Talia observed that there appeared many other cars. She wondered if they went out of the Dark Howler's territory. It didn't take long before Damon took an exit and they ended up on a smaller road that led into a town. Talia's face was nearly glued to the tinted glass as she took in the sight in front of her. She felt disappointed when after a right turn, they ended up in a side street and she took a note that he parked into the VIP spot of the hospital. "Do you come here often?" Talia asked, and Damon understood that she asked because of the parking spot. "My parents donated to build this place, and I give occasional donations which grants me preferential treatment," Damon explained before adding, "Travis completed his medical residency here, and he arranges appointments for us when needed, which doesn't happen very often. They think of us as humans." Talia understood that there should appear no werewolf talks. The automatic double door opened so that Talia and Damon could step inside. The entry hall seemed spacious with sitting arrangements, and Talia's attention drew to the big screens that hung on the wall.
displaying information about doctors, nurses, and current wait times. Both nurses at the registering station had foolish smiles and hearts in their eyes at the sight of Damon. The blonde even nudged the brunette with her elbow. Shameless. Talia felt that they didn't notice her at all. "How can I help you?" one of the nurses asked in a singing voice without removing her amorous gaze from Damon. "Talia Blake has an appointment," Damon responded, and Talia blinked when she realized that he talked about her. Blake? Where did that come from? The truth was that Talia didn't know her last name. Since she knew about herself, she represented Talia, just Talia. Talia Blake. Talia Blake. Talia repeated a few times in her mind and concluded that it didn't sound bad. Actually, she liked it. The nurse checked something on her computer before pointing to the left. "Take the second elevator to the third floor, and from there, follow arrows to the wellness center." On the third floor, they found a small lounge with dozens of chairs and 2 benches where a few people sat in silence, obviously waiting for their turn. Damon and Talia took their seats on black metal chairs that had leather upholstery. Talia observed gray carpet and off-white walls that had abstract paintings to bring a splash of color into the space. They waited for less than a minute when one middle-aged man exited the door on the right, and his eyes scanned the people in the lounge expectantly. His face lit up when he saw Damon. "Mr. Blake!" the man called with a smile.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.